didn't want to just jump in if you'd already gone live, you see.
And now we are live, so the welcoming words of John. That's all right. Good day, very few people out there. See, the thing is, I did a stream on Monday, so maybe everyone thinks that there's no stream tonight. Or it's too hot.
Well, actually, streams are very good when it's hot because you just lie there and listen.
Yeah, well, no, I probably... Well, I don't know, it's too hot to lay outside. That's otherwise I would have said, oh, well, we'd be outside.
But anyway, I hate to do this, but I've got to compliment you on your role in Ludicrous's latest video because you were very good.
Thank you very much. I did enjoy it, actually. I was really chuffed for the invitation, and I really enjoyed doing it. So, yeah.
What was it about?
The real story of Trump's last 4 years.
Well, you know what? I'm pretty sure Ludicrous won't mind if I share it with everyone. So let me see.
Well, you might as well as, you know, according to this, there's one person watching, and as I'm watching, that's me.
Yeah, most likely, most likely. Let's see. Share screen. Boom da boom. Diggity book. So that's working. Up. The easiest way to get there is the shortest way. There we go. Oh, stop. Oh, stop.
That was loud.
It is loud. Sorry about that.
Okay.
I'll put it down a little bit so you guys can see it like it is. But now I have to change it on OBS so that the people at home can see it as it is. I am really
people at home. I love that. Makes you sound like you're a TV presenter.
It does feel like it a little bit.
Oh, pardon me.
Probably not right on it, but it does feel like it a little bit. Okay, now and I'll do this.
Welcome again everyone, and in this video I am going to court controversy and risk losing my audience by giving a very full and frank assessment of Trump's first term in office. I would tell you to prepare to be shocked, but you have all seen this over the past 4 years, so you will probably end up just saying, oh yeah. So let's start at the beginning of this nightmare. The day after Trump was elected. I, like most other people outside America, was left gaping when Trump's first action in office was to round up every person of colour and put them in concentration camps. I've personally never seen anything of that scale in my lifetime. The following week, when he passed a law mandating all LGB into conversion therapy, every rainbow warrior in the world was outraged. That was ballsy, even for Trump. His callous tweet the next day stating that he had purposely left out the T from this law because with their reported high suicide rate, that this problem would solve itself was highly distressing.
Hang on there, mate. That never happened.
Wait, what? Who's that?
Hi there, Ludicrous.
OMG. Mugwin.
Mugwing? Mugwing? That's not nice, Lucas. Not nice.
What do you want?
That never happened.
This is my stream. Save that for SOT.
Man, I'm sorry. But when I hear bullshit, I have a compulsion to call it out.
Hey, stop misspeciating me and pipe down. I'm trying to drum up outrage here.
All right. I'll just take a seat over there, shall I?
Of course, it did not take long for Trump's reign of terror to spread outside of the States. After a gas attack of civilians in Syria, Trump tweeted, "The leaders of Syria have run out of gas, so I will be shipping in some oil." Within 2 hours post of that tweet, Aleppo had been napalmed. Who could forget that after a public insult from Kim Jong-un, Trump tweeted, "North Korea has no working nuclear missiles, so I sent them one of ours." The crater left outside Pyongyang still brings a tear to my eyes.
Sorry, but that's just ludicrous. None of that ever happened. I mean, out of all of the things in the world, these things never happened the most.
What? What are you saying?
That tribe is the ranting of full Trump derangement syndrome, mate. Fantasy. Delusion.
How dare you? I have been researching everything from CNN for the past 4 years, which proves that America is now completely under Trump's control. If it's all lies, what kind of a crappy dictator is he?
Oh God, you've overdosed on the commie network nightmare. I'm going to have to prescribe you a high dose of fuck it all. Here, stand still. Hold on, it takes a few minutes to take effect.
Ah, no. Ah, Jesus. What have I done?
There, Ludicrous. You'll be fine. This shot should stabilize you. And don't worry about the side effects. The impotence should wear off after a few days.
What have I done to myself?
Oh dear, I may have misjudged the dose. Oh. I guess I have to take control for now. Hey all, be sure to subscribe to my little channel, and I'm going to have to take care of the leprechaun right now, so I'll just sign off for him. I hope to see you all next time, and yeah, there you have it. Who knew leprechauns couldn't handle their shots? Poor little guy.
That sounded a bit sinister, saying you had to take care of the leprechaun.
It's the first time that I haven't worked with a script, to be honest. So
yeah, and you sound much better for. Oh, that. Yeah, you did very well. Sorry. Good busy. Cheap shots are us. Not that anyone's hearing this because well, it says 5 are watching, but no one said hello in the chat.
Well, 2 of us is you and me, so.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. The 3 entries in the chat. One's me, one's Modwin, and one's Smokers. The 3 people on the stream. So we'll talk amongst ourselves, shall we?
Yeah, well, that's what we've been doing already, so that's okay. No, but I was. In all fairness, I felt a little bit honoured when he said he wanted to do a video with me.
Well, all I can say is that you've got a much calmer part than he normally gives me, because I'm normally outraged of Britain.
Yeah, but John, that has something to do with the behaviour on stream.
No. No.
Oh, come on. There's no one in the chat now, so no one can either confirm or deny this, but let's be honest.
No, but that's not why.
People are making fun of me shouting at you.
No, but in his scripts he writes, you know, a outraged person.
Mm-hmm. Oh, maybe. That could be true. I will have a link to it in the thingy downstairs. And hi there, Paolo. To the video of Ludicrous in the chat.
Oh.
But if people, I mean, let's be honest, not everyone can see it.
Hi, Paolo.
Hey guys.
Hey, Paolo.
Hey, Paolo. Why not everyone in the stream?
Oh. To me, it's more fun when there's just a few of us than having some people only typing and they can't really join in.
Mm. Besides, if we don't have a main theme, nobody's gonna watch.
Yeah, well, I had a good stream Monday, and it's too hot. I was planning on doing something, but it's too hot. It can't be asked.
Well, earlier you told me to not talk about what I wanted to talk about because you wanted to talk about it on the stream. So we do have something to talk about.
It's a good thing to talk about, yes. Well, take it away, John.
No, I'd rather leave it be, thank you.
See, there you have it. It's too hot.
I don't know. I've always liked the shooting the shit streams, to be honest. You never know what you're going to get.
Well, I was reacting to Monday's stream, and I was pointing out that while everything, or pretty much what Moderator said was perfectly correct, I found a lot of it was irrelevant to the problem of how the systems of welfare arose in the first place and how they started for one purpose and then ended up being something completely different.
Oh yeah, that's true.
And about because you know that it's like, you know, there are no right-wing parties in Europe.
No, they're not.
Right.
Well, actually, there are a few, but
no, but
the ones that are actually
let's call it. There are no obvious right-wing, as in
no. There are no obvious
small
right-wing
government,
parties.
libertarian.
No, there are no obvious. No.
I don't consider that the right wing.
Well, no. But here's the problem, right? So, when you talk to or listen to Americans, that's what they mean.
Yeah.
So
And that's where you go wrong.
No. But okay. So here's the problem, right? It's this problem of time, because way back in the day, you could not prize any money out of government. You couldn't get them to do anything once upon a time.
Hi there, Michael, by the way.
But once they started to become more hands-on, you know, it's like it becomes a self-perpetuating thing, doesn't it? Because you now have government of doing stuff and spending money and taking care of people, and then we have the politicians who think that's a good idea when they used to think, no, we don't want to do that.
Mm-hmm.
And so the fact that politicians are all for the state and so forth is hardly a surprise, given that's the situation we find ourselves.
Oh, sorry.
If you know what I mean. So it's like, you know, I was mentioning to Moderaine earlier that the Conservative Party of 2019 is not the Conservative Party of the 1980s and Margaret Thatcher. In fact, it's more like the Labour Party of the 1980s. Because there'd just be such a shift. I mean, Margaret Thatcher would be appalled at many of the attitudes and policies of the Conservatives now.
Sure.
I'm sorry. Lots of yawning now. I had too full a meal. It's not an indication of what you were talking about, John. It really is me having had too much to eat and it being too hot. Oh.
No, it's okay. I understand. I won't take it personally.
Good. No, but I mean, and the stream Monday was good, but yeah, one of the problems is that when we're talking about the welfare state once, the concept of welfare was to be a safety net.
Yeah.
not something to survive in for a long time, just something to pull you over.
It wasn't an income.
No, it wasn't supposed to be a wealthy. And I mean, there are obvious exceptions, people who can't work for physical or mental reasons, sure, whatever. But people that could work should work.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
And
I mean,
now,
as I said earlier, we still call it, and it was set up as a national insurance system.
yeah, the safety
a
net.
contributions-based, organised system for working people to insure against their own times of unemployment.
Yeah.
And the amount of money you get is directly related to the amount of money you, the person, had already put in.
Yeah.
And it's still called that. And that is still, if you like, the conceptual basis of it. The problem is all the other things that got added as well, like child benefits, supporting single mothers, and
Yeah, because it's all good and well that it should work like that, but we all know that it doesn't work like that. But we still pretend that it still does.
Yeah.
I've always found it a blessing and a curse.
Yeah.
Because I'm on welfare.
Well.
And it's like, well, it's a blessing because you're not starving, you can pay your bills, all that shit. It's not a big pot of money or anything, but, you can manage. But on the same time, it doesn't really motivate you to go to work.
Yeah.
Because you get money.
Well, it's even worse because in a lot of systems, and this is true in the Netherlands as well, being on welfare can actually hinder you from getting a job or finding your own income.
Yeah.
Because
the label that I have,
yes, that's one thing. But if I look at myself, I mean, I am in unemployment benefits right now, which is pretty good because I've worked for more than 20 years. So I've got, in total, a little bit more than 2 years, which is the maximum of unemployment benefit. And because of my hourly wage as it was, I have a decent income. It's not as good as it was, but I have a decent income. Now I'm thinking about starting my own company. And I'm serious about this, and God knows if it'll work, yes or no. But they will cut my income another 30% when I do that.
Yeah, and this is the problem. It's the poverty trap.
So it has become a poverty trap. So basically, what they are doing is telling me, okay, you should and you can and blah 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 blah. But if you do, we're going to cut your income, even if you don't have income. Now
it raises the marginal rate of taxation in effect.
Yeah, but now if they would have said, okay, you know what, you have this safety because that's what it is. Unemployment is a safety income. You will get this safety income, but if you make money, you need to send us, you need to keep us up to date how much money you make, which is easy to do anyway because all income goes, the taxes know about just about everything that's legal. If they would have said, okay, you're going to get X amount of money, but you're going to earn so much, so we're going to detract X what you earned from your dole payment, then I would have said, yeah, sure. I mean, if I earn more money, good for me. But if, especially in the beginning, I'm not going to earn that money, I at least have this safety net. No, they're going to cut 30% of my income. And if I start earning money, then okay, what I earn I can keep myself. But if I don't earn anything, which is not completely illogical in the first months of a new company, well, yeah, fuck you.
Yeah, well, I mean, here's the thing, right? So they have all these rules because everything's about rules. So it's like you can work up to so many hours. I think it's 15 hours a week. But you can't work 16 hours a week. And this is so unhelpful because it's like I've not, especially looking after my wife, I've not actually been in employment for a while, right? I'm not in a state where even if I wanted to work, I could go into full-time work. I would need to ease into it. A system that is friendly, and anyone who's not been on working for a long time is going to be the same.
Yeah.
It goes even. Oh, sorry.
No,
continue.
No,
You're on.
Michael. Carry on, Michael.
No, finish your argument though.
Well, I'm just saying it's so that it's like if you've got someone who's not been employed for a long time. Yeah, a good way is they can get a part-time job and then slowly increase their hours. But these stupid rules,
that's what I'm doing right now.
You can't. You can do up to 15, and then as soon as you go over 15, you get nothing. It's like, oh, this is just so unhelpful, so inflexible.
There's even a worse case for that. What's it into? Oh, welfare put me on invalid's rent. Maybe not entirely unfounded, I fear. But the issue is they said I can't work. I'm unable to work for 100% rate. Meaning, even if I should be in a position, a mental position to be honest, to work for, shall we say, 5 hours a week, I mustn't do that because they consider me 100% invalid. If I do it just to see, am I able to do so? Can I go back because I'm on the invalid rent due to a psychological issue? I can't even go and test because then I lose everything.
Yeah.
And I wouldn't get anything back, and I wouldn't get any invalid rent with, frankly, I don't mind. But I couldn't go to welfare, so I have a roof over my head and can pay all the things, because it would be considered to be a deliberate forfeiting of the income that ensures my survival.
Yeah.
Thank you for that. 12 years in this hell.
And this is precisely what I'm trying to say. It's the lack of flexibility and total inability to cope with actual needs of actual people, because they don't treat people, they just have these rules. And of course, any rules will not fit some people.
There's a reason why we call them. So there's a reason why we call them Sachbearbeiter, which means responsible for the things, and not counselors, because they're not counseling people; they are administrating us.
Yeah, and in English they call them caseworkers.
Yeah, caseworkers. Yeah, that's the word. Thanks.
You're not weird. I always thought the word was wanker, but there you go.
No, they are not wanker. 99% women in there.
Yeah, women can wank too. Get with the program.
Well, they are kind of dicks, but I don't know.
No.
I don't want to know, to be honest. I've met one once, no thanks.
Wanking is just a term for masturbation, and masturbation can be done by all sexes.
Yeah, but wanking is used for, you wank the dicks, but...
No. That is an assumption foreigners make in their error. Wanking just means masturbation.
Well,
I mean, literally, that's all it means.
They have to do something a day.
I just want to say a couple of things. Like, first of all, I am eternally scarred by seeing Maud Wayne's armpit rolls.
You're more than welcome, mate.
I'll tell you what, because I forgot, but I'll turn off my camera so I don't trigger anyone else either.
Imagine having to do a 2-hour stream with them.
And also, secondly, I'm not on a single lick of welfare myself, so I might be the odd one out on this conversation in more way than just two, and those two other ways being that I'm probably the only American on this call, and also being the youngest one, likely.
Yeah.
That's no problem.
Well, you're not correct on not being on any welfare, because I am not on a penny of state funding either.
And officially,
you don't have to depend on welfare. Be lucky, be happy.
And officially,
is shit.
Oh no, I'm certainly happy that I'm not on welfare. There's a certain sense of fulfillment that one gets of not being on welfare ultimately, at least in my opinion anyways.
Well, you could look at that different and say earning your own money.
Yeah. Or,
but in all fairness,
that's another thing.
in all
I mean,
fairness,
it's the same thing.
I'm not really on.
Or you could also say you are able to do with the money what you want, because in Switzerland they have a rather harsh control. You are almost not allowed to spend any money without their giving their consent. And if you are in welfare in Switzerland, there's another point most people don't know. Welfare needs to be paid back. Meaning, if you had the, shall we say, luck to live in welfare for 2 or more years, and you have 2,200 Swiss francs, that's the existential minimum, and you find a job of 3,000 francs, take out your calculator and start calculating how much longer you have to live on 2,200, working 100% until everything is paid back and you are free of your life.
yeah.
So here in the United States, we have, of course, have food stamps and WIC and other stuff like that. But there in Switzerland, you guys have are given welfare money instead of welfare.
No, not every time. If they sanction you, you are on food stamps to show you who's boss.
But in all fairness, I'm not on welfare as such. I'm on unemployment, and unemployment is an insurance thing. I've paid for it. I literally paid money every month I'm working, and considering the fact that I've been working for, how old am I now? Fucking hell, 30 years. Ancient. This is the first time I'm unemployed for longer than a week. So yeah, I mean, it's a right.
It gets tiresome after 6 months, believe me.
Oh yeah, no.
Never mind my earlier statement then being a bit of a jackass and whatnot, but
No, I mean, the problem is that what is called welfare is now a hugely complex system of different benefits. Some you have to qualify for, some you get automatically, and it's all just a bureaucratic mess, which is my biggest objection to it, because all that costs taxes just to run it.
Yeah, so some of it being automatic, like here in the United States, Social Security, for example. As far as I know, there's no way for a person to opt out of Social Security so that, I don't know, they could avoid paying that kind of a fee, that being Social Security taxes.
Well, as it is, you pay into it as well, so.
Well, there is a way to.
I know. I mean, it's kind of an enforced, mandated insurance program, if for lack of better wording.
Yeah, but you can emigrate to Mexico and come back illegally. And you don't have to pay Social Security.
I mean, their currency is a lot more highly inflated than here in the United States. So if I was to move down to Mexico, I would be filthy rich. But at the same time, I'd probably get tortured to death by a bunch of cartels. But you know,
hey, no risk, no fun.
Right.
My main objection is simply how far south it is, and therefore hot.
Yep.
I'm too hot here at British latitudes, and we are way north of North America.
Speaking of hot, I'm sweating my balls off out here. Just went outside my door for a copy of my lease. When are they gonna get here? Damn it! But anyway, so if I may ask just as a general question, is anybody here for welfare reform within their own appropriate countries?
Absolutely.
Most definitely.
Number one priority.
In all fairness,
I prefer going over taxation reform because that would eliminate the need for welfare.
And shrink the state.
Right.
Get rid of the bureaucracies and just stop sucking the life out of the population.
in all fairness,
employ people with an IQ higher than 80.
In all fairness, and this is something I said Monday in the stream as well, I've been thinking about this very topic for a very long time because I see that welfare in the Netherlands is definitely broken. Now, the concept why we have it is not a bad one, but the way we enforce it, the way we make it, the way it turned out, let me put it like that, the way it turned out.
It's because governments are shit at everything.
Well, probably, but it isn't working right. And I've been thinking about what can we do to make it better. And I have to admit, it's not easy.
I did think of a plan.
Well, it is very easy, to be honest.
No,
Imagine, why don't people have a job? Because there are no jobs to be had if you don't have certain qualifications, like a master degree in feminist Marxism or something, and everything production-alike that earlier on in the 19th century ensured people to have work. You know, helping out in a factory, going to work there in a get your hands dirty job and so on. They are no longer there. And even if there are these kind of jobs, immigrants are getting them.
Yeah.
And there you have a lot of people who have no chance whatsoever to enter the workforce.
Yeah. And
because
that
they
is
are artificially be held outside. And it's the same with the production abroad.
Yeah.
But that's
I actually had a thought experiment on what we could do about welfare, right? And it's off the wall, and it's not actually practical, but the point is to lay out a conception, right?
Mm-hmm.
So, in a country like the UK, we have people on what they call council housing, social housing, owned by the municipality. And
Just waiting outside here. Thank you.
You're welcome.
Have a good one.
and there's all, there's a lot of, one of the problems with welfare is it isn't the people who aren't working. It's the amount of welfare that goes to subsidise the lowly paid. And I hear all these arguments about the minimum wage, but the fundamental problem is this. If the minimum living standard for a country is too high, and I'm not saying it should be, I'm just saying it's too high, what happens is the market for wages drives down wages, right? And then the government steps in with all kinds of extras, which means that you and I, the taxpayer, fund private profit.
Yep. And we cause inflation.
Dude, inflation is something I never, ever, ever understood. It's like, why can't we just fix the price at this point?
Well,
that's it. Worldwide.
Because it's very complicated. But
I know. I never really.
And we now have the chief economic tactic of modern governments is to print more money, thus devaluating the currency,
which inflates even more.
Which is that's my point. It is inflationary, right? But that's what all this quantitative easing stuff is. Every time there's a problem, let's just print some more money. So they're actually stealing from people's savings, right?
Yeah.
Devaluing the currency, right?
And for the longest time, I'm sorry, John, this is important. For the longest time, countries were promoting people to own their own houses, because if you own your own house, you are less vulnerable to inflation. Mm-hmm. But in the last 10 to 20 years, and this is not just in America, this is happening everywhere in the world, home ownership isn't being promoted.
No,
and the first thing...
You can't have home ownership and the kind of migration they've been encouraging.
Yeah. And the first thing that happens to you when you lose your job and you have to go for a prolonged period on welfare is they take away your home. Or rather, they force you to sell it. Which is funny because if I look at myself, I live in a house which is pretty big and I pay, let's say, around €400 for it. If I were to sell it...
That's what I pay for a flat in my city, man.
Yeah. My brother has a house that fits in my living room. His whole apartment fits in my living room. And he pays more than I do. But he rents, and I bought. The governments are very good at fucking things up. And when it comes to housing markets and securities...
The government shouldn't be part of the housing frigging market, should it?
No, it shouldn't.
Let's be honest.
It shouldn't. But they own the land where you want to build on, so in that way
They don't.
control.
Not in this country.
Well, in your country, the Queen does.
Well, technically she doesn't, but...
In the Netherlands, pieces of land are from the government. You can buy it from them, or you can lease it from them, and they have to give you permission for it.
Well, can you actually buy it?
Yeah, you can buy from
so that it's yours for however long you live?
Yeah, you have to pay taxes over it because it's considered property. But
What do you mean it's considered property? Land is property. That's where property started with land.
Well, that is a very interesting thing, but in all fairness, only the topsoil is property. Everything underneath it isn't.
Oh yeah, no, absolutely.
But that doesn't then kind of negate the property thing?
No, I'm just saying, but the concept of property was land. Even if it's only the topsoil. The concept of property was the ownership of land.
Well, fair enough.
That's where it started, and then people built on their property. That's what we call it. Build on my property. We even call land property.
Well, fair enough. But yeah, so there is that.
Well,
And,
we can't build on property here. In order to build on our own property, we need to get it licensed for building.
Yep.
So we have to pay the licensing to the state to build on our own property.
Yep.
In the meantime, we have to pay property taxes on the land that is not built upon. And after we build on it, having already paid the licensing to build on it, you then have to pay higher property taxes because now you built on it.
Yep.
Do what the Greeks do.
Bureaucracy at its finest.
Well, we can't here because if it's not finished building, we can't get public utilities attached to it.
Because that's what the Greeks do. They never finish their buildings.
Yeah, the Sicilians
therefore
too.
they never pay the taxes.
Yeah, but here we can't because you can only get a deed to the house after it's built, and you can only use public utilities on your house if you have a deed.
So, at least the Portuguese aren't as government isn't as daft as the Greek government.
Our government is very, very smart when it comes to making money off of us.
Yeah. But
well, that's bureaucracy at its finest, right?
Unfortunately, yes.
Yeah, but you'd be surprised at how incompetent some bureaucracies are. That's the problem.
And it's so damn expensive as well.
I mean, if bureaucracies were efficient, they could streamline, and if they streamline, they would cost less, and it wouldn't be such a problem. It's the fact that they're so bloody bloated because they're so incompetent. That's the problem.
And William, I don't know, obviously, because I don't live in Sweden, but I thought that land in Sweden wasn't as expensive as it is in the Netherlands. I mean, I had a colleague, and she was a psychologist, so she earned rather a bit more than I did. And she went to Sweden, bought a house somewhere in the middle of nowhere, and has a...
I think you've just said the magic words.
Maybe, but they now
in the middle of nowhere.
They have a bed and breakfast.
No, but property prices are heavily variable.
More expensive near the more popular places.
Well, no, I mean, if you buy...
Isn't it?
I mean, if you take the UK, right? So I was in Scotland. You could buy a mansion for the price of the pokiest flat in London.
Mm-hmm. What's the price for a flat in London?
Over $1 million.
Oh.
Yeah, look at Los Angeles. Los Angeles has a huge homeless problem. They have a huge housing problem, but the prices of housing is amazingly high, and they simply...
It's like, what, $1,100 for an apartment, studio apartment, or some bullshit like that?
I wouldn't even know the numbers, but it's more than the average income could afford if they would.
Yeah. I heard about it once, and I was like, "Damn, that sounds fucking ridiculous, dude. How much are the wages there then?"
Yeah.
Well, does anybody afford an apartment over there?
Yeah. Did you hear about that pod experiment where they built pods?
Yeah.
And you rent a pod, and it's something like thousands a month just to have this little
Yeah, with like 8 other people.
In a shared building.
Well, with 1,000 a month, you get a one room flat over here in Switzerland, abroad, not in the city, somewhere in the midst of the country.
Yeah, and because prices vary so much.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, the Los Angeles story was particularly interesting because this is an old story actually, or rather, I know that it's like this, and it has been for several years. They have a person wanting to build houses, and the government of I think in this case it was San Francisco, has been delaying it so long that the guy is actually losing money on not doing anything, and he's not allowed to do anything because the local governments are basically stopping it. Yeah. But at the same time, they have a housing problem.
Yeah, but they don't. This is something else about government. It's also corrupt because in Britain, right, they've had this thing about they're not building enough houses, and they've been saying it for decades.
Yeah.
So why aren't they building more houses?
No, because they're not allowed to.
No, that's not what I'm saying. Not the housing companies. Why are the governments not enabling more housing when government's saying we need more housing? Because
it would ruin the prices.
And so many of the politicians are friends with house builders.
Shocking.
Yeah. Who'd have thought it? So it's like they give all the rhetoric, oh, we need to build all these houses, and then they don't let it happen.
Yep.
So I'm not talking about the ones who aren't allowed, I'm talking about the ones who aren't allowing.
It's probably because they're afraid of competition in the housing industry, honestly.
It's not competition, it's profits. It's to do with the demand curve, right? Different industries have different demand curves. If you have something like housing, it's got a very steep demand curve. So if you can keep supply comfortably below demand, you get very high prices. It artificially inflates. And it's all to do with the nature of the market. And every market is different in its demand curve. But the demand curve for housing is people need a place to live. And so they will do anything to pay anything to have a place to live. So if there's an undersupply, prices skyrocket.
Or people just want to live somewhere and they go homeless in that city.
Yeah, but you're with me. It's like, that's the problem with housing. As I said, a flat in London, a pokey little, like, shoebox of a flat will be $1 million. Why? Because the market is so distorted. And then you'll have, Russian oligarchs, Saudi people, buying up all this property, and it's empty, often on tax loopholes.
So hey, speaking of controversial subjects like the title of the stream kind of implies, is too hot to talk about anything seriously. But have you guys been hearing about the Floyd riots that had happened here in America, like late May and June?
What riots happened?
Riots in America?
No. Portland and counting.
Yeah.
Oh my God! I'm so glad I don't live there anymore.
The mayor said it was a block party.
No. That was Seattle. The block party was Seattle, my friend.
No, Seattle wasn't a block party. Seattle was Utopia.
No, that was a block party. It was a summer of love. And a bunch of black people that got killed. But Chaz. It later became Chop after two people were chopped, I guess.
But yes.
Yeah, it's dumb. I unironically have some Facebook friends that had been like advocating for the riots, sadly enough.
Yeah, it's funny how people advocate riots somewhere else.
Population reduction.
Somewhere else,
Good
over
reduction, right?
What? You're not allowed to come and riot here? Not near my stuff.
Yeah, the bloody NIMBYs. Although a lot of them.
Although thankfully enough, those friends have been still kind of a minority because for the most part with people that I talk to like in person, and at least 80% of my friends on Facebook and so forth, they're like against the riots. Like I live here in Wichita, Kansas, and yeah, the general attitude in the aftermath of George Floyd has been like generally peaceful. All the protests have been peaceful. There have been only like 2 mildly violent incidents, but they did not like upgrade to like full-scale riots that gone like tearing down entire buildings and send them on fire.
Isn't that sad? Isn't that sad that you have to mention how protests, only 2 of them.
No, there's only 2 of them that ended up violent, like
exactly. Only 2 ended up.
When it's violent, it cannot be a protest.
No, but here's the thing.
So you had a bunch of protests and 2 riots. There you go.
No, but here's the thing. All this started because a man died. How many deaths and counting have there been in response to the reaction to a man dying?
Yep.
Or was it like 80 last counted? Somewhere around there?
The point is you don't solve a problem by doing a lot more of the thing you just complained about.
And what's even funnier is how many black people died because of it.
Yeah,
by the hands of rioters.
It's always black men.
How many black people's businesses got destroyed in the process?
Indeed. Listen, I can't remember on Twitter someone made a point about it, and I'm like, you know what? I think it was the pleb. What's his name again? I forgot. Great guy. Don't get me wrong. Pleb is the name he uses. Anyway, he was. Yeah, could be. I'm crap with names.
Well, I'm looking at his name on the Discord. Don the Pleb.
Don the Pleb. Okay, fair enough. And he was talking about, well, what a surprise, yada yada, blah blah blah. And I'm like, the thing is, to me, it's not even a surprise. I made a video about how most black people do not support Black Lives Matter 4 years ago.
Well, there was a lot of support and rising after George Floyd, right until the riots happened.
And then people cottoned on. People cottoned on that they're a Marxist organisation who actually want to destroy the family and unperson black men. And then they go, maybe not.
Yeah.
They also advocate for gun control and single-payer health care. Let's not forget reparations and affirmative action as well.
Yeah.
In which city did they rob stores like Gucci and so on for reparation purposes?
Yes.
Yeah, because those Italian slavers.
Yeah.
Milan, the capital of the slave thing.
No, Milan, the capital of the beer bug in Europe. Okay.
No, I know. No, but the point is reparations. Gucci, Milan, not renowned as a hub of the slave trade.
Well, let's be honest. If we want to talk about reparations are what country A pays to country B after they have lost a war against country B. I'm sorry, I can't remember us losing a war.
We did. We lost the culture war.
Well, it's still ongoing, I would say.
No, but I mean, the reason Black Lives Matter in the middle of COVID can have their protests and riots and everything's fine.
Allies everywhere.
Not everything's fine. Politicians even promoting the protests.
Yeah,
that's even worse.
Exactly, and that's my point. That, to me,
joining the protests,
having won the culture war.
People being hypocrites, like even T.J. Kirk, the amazing atheist, he had espoused that exact same hypocrisy. Like in one of my recent response videos, it was actually a response video to him. He was like advocating for not only protesting, but also rioting over George Floyd, but not just in protest against police brutality, which that's fair enough, but also to, against capitalism. He's like pretty much... He's pretty much become a commie, we can like safely say. But on the flip side, he was saying that it's not okay to reopen the economy. Like, it's okay that people protest and even called for that people riot, but it's not okay that we open the economy. double speak much, bro.
I would say,
Everything about that is in character for TJ Kirk. We're talking about a guy that doesn't work. When he tries to do a business, he does it just like his father used to do, which is running a scam. He constantly e-bags with all the money he overspends from super chat donations and the like. This is a person that is not reliable in terms of economic matters, and going and supporting subversive movements has always been in character for him.
they should have a citizenship test for voting, and if you call for riots, you automatically lose your citizenship. Because
Oh, you mean like the visa form you have to fill out if you want to travel to the United States? Are you part of a terrorist organization? Yes or no?
I support.
I wonder
the
myself,
no
what
shit.
did anyone ever cross the yes and
Got away with it.
Well, technically, they can prosecute you if you lie on a federal document.
But here's the thing, right? People openly calling, it's on record. They can track that shit down. Rescind your right to vote if you call for riots, because it shows you are not a citizen. You are a parasite.
I would actually say that if you're caught rioting, that's a reason to, because it's domestic terrorism, and people don't like to use it.
I
But
hold
it
the
is domestic
rioters in
terrorism.
higher regard than these wankers who sit in their safe suburban houses calling for riots.
yeah, at least the rioters do something and
Yeah, at least they
stand up
put.
for it.
They follow through with their principles,
Yeah,
whatever principles they may be.
yeah, but you can honor them for doing so.
Yep.
You call them parasites. Like, it's bad enough that there are people who are unironically not working at all and are expecting just free money for them to survive and so forth. And there's even people like Progressive Voice, for example, who advocates for that shit too. It's bad enough that happens, but then
this
at
is
the
where
same
we
time,
started. That was actually the topic on which we started.
right? But then at the same time, you not only have those people, but you also have the people that are destroying the source of, the resources for those lazy bums to keep on just leeching off.
They're morons. These people are morons. They think that everything happens by magic, and we don't live in a preciously fragile civilization that can be brought down to collapse.
Right. If you
True. There was, like, unironically a meme that I had seen. I think it was a few months ago, but somebody was saying, I do not see as to why that people have to rely on farms for their food. There's always the grocery store. Fucking idiot.
Yeah.
Autonomous zone ordering in pizzas from the neighboring country, the United States. Like Uber.
Or when they kicked out and killed all the white farmers in Zimbabwe, and then nobody could fucking farm.
South
Yep.
Africa.
That's what happened in South Africa. South Africa, but you're not allowed
Yeah,
to
they also
recognize it.
somewhere else before, didn't it?
Well, it happened in Zimbabwe. But
Okay,
Zimbabwe is right next door. But you're not allowed to recognize that, because if you do
And
so,
now
you're a
in
white
South Africa,
supremacist.
Well, you can't say anything against that because it happened to white people, and racism is okay if it happens to whites, right?
Yeah, apparently
No.
that's the reality of it. What do you mean, no?
No. I'm extreme egalitarian.
But is it me, or is Mod Wayne just sounding very low to everyone?
Oh, wait a second.
I was thinking that too, yeah.
The microphone is a bit away. Maybe it's better now? I had to reinstall the microphone.
Yes, it is, and someone has wind.
A little bit.
Yeah, that's me as well, because the echo is running. That's why it was standing on a slightly different spot.
That's me, because I got the windows rolled down as I'm just chilling here in my car right now.
Ah,
and
okay.
they had the electric fan on, so everybody has wind. Did anyone
As long as you
eat?
have wind and not gas,
too.
everything's okay.
Well, all we need is somebody to cut a fart, and then we have wind. Everybody.
Okay.
Oh, wait a second. No.
So, did you notice how quiet the environmental argument has got now the temperatures have risen?
Mhm.
No one wants to talk about environmentalism when they need their aircon on.
Yep.
And
Well,
yet
man,
there
we
is
need to
no,
cut down on air conditioning,
there is
even though it's
no
hot as fuck.
more environmentally unfriendly device than air conditioning.
But you have to consider that half of the Fridays for Future organizers have COVID and the other half is scared to death to leave the house. So no protests.
Well, unless, of course, they can protest for Black Lives Matter.
Well, yeah, but they're not Fridays for Future.
Oh, right.
I think I'm going to get out of here right now because I got stuff to do. Yeah, I mean, if anybody is curious, check out my response video to TJ Kirk. It's called TJ Kirk's Full Tanky. It's a rather fun video. One of the more entertaining ones of my
I deliberately cut The Amazing Atheist out of my life years ago.
Yeah, me too.
Yeah, I have no patience for his videos anymore.
Well, I never did.
I never did.
Thought, why are people following this idiot?
Yeah, I mean, he was not so... Well, no, that's not true. He's always been...
For the same reason that people watch professional wrestling.
Yeah,
Anyway,
I never understood
take
that.
care, guys.
Take care, dude.
But
See you later, Dark.
for people watching wrestling, maybe some hidden homosexuality, I don't know.
Maybe.
No, because if you watch the women, right?
Oh, yeah. There's
They
women
are-
wrestling?
Well, in any
Oh,
case, TJ Kirk,
The
for
professional
TJ Kirk,
women wrestlers.
There is men and-
porn stars. Put them side by side, and it's very hard to tell the difference. They
There is
dress
men
the
and
same,
women
they look the
wrestling.
same, they probably act the same.
yeah. But in TJ Kirk's case, it's okay to. There's a little homosexuality because TJ once stuck a banana up his ass on camera.
It's one of the few things I know is he's bisexual.
Yes, and
And
he
that
once
was
stuck
okay
a.
on YouTube?
Yes.
But if you say your opinion which goes against the social justice warriors, it gets deleted. But stuff... oh, no. Great, I now got a headache.
Yeah. Anyway, I just noticed something.
Yeah.
Kamala Harris is supposedly black, but I have more melanin than her.
No. She is half Indian and half. Where was the other half from?
Jamaican. Half
So
Indian,
if you
half
mix Jamaican and Indian, you get
So
white.
was she born in the United States?
No, you
well,
don't get white, but it's
her
also not
parents
black.
were both immigrants.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Okay, yeah.
She was born in the United States. The thing is, you mix Jamaican with Tamil Indian, and somehow they cancel each other's melanin, because I have more melanin than Kamala Harris.
Yeah.
I am compared to her. I am an actual person of color.
No.
Don't melanin
You're
shame
an actual
her.
person.
Ah,
Oh, by the way, this Harris woman there, isn't that the one who in 2018 or 19 was it, stood up for the Believe Women hashtag that you have to believe women if an accusation has been there, and you should cancel all the men if they have been
I
accused?
have no idea.
No, Kamala
Because
Harris.
if she would be and she runs as VP for Biden, Mr.
No.
Creepy Uncle Joe sniffing 30-year-old
but
head.
he
No, the problem with
wrote the
Kamala
violence
Harris.
against women, that.
The
For
problem
which he
with-
should never be forgiven.
Didn't Tulsi Gabbard cut her all the way down to the knees with the
Oh.
dates?
I heard
Yeah,
that.
Yeah,
In
that's
the
why
first,
Tulsi Gabbard wasn't the candidate.
in the
The thing
first
with Kamala
debate,
Harris.
It was in public, that's the point.
and she got
See what's
absolutely...
great
The-
in America.
I don't know. I
we
was
had
kind of
the
rooting for
primary.
her. I'm not gonna lie.
Yeah, but she was the when she was the DA
In California.
in California.
Los
She
Angeles.
she purposefully prevented people from going free after being exonerated because the for-profit prisons needed their labor.
Yeah. Yeah, and there was a record of them just convicting people for nothing.
I guess
Yeah.
we all having collective amnesia about that shit now and then.
And of
Again.
course, the people they were doing it to were black men.
Yep. She's absolutely everything Black Lives Matter protests against.
Yes, she enslaved black men in the United States.
Yeah, literally slave labor.
As if the DNC deliberately wants to fail.
I think they do that. I'd actually like to see, because they're not going to let Joe Biden become president. So it's going to be President Kamala Harris.
No.
President Kamala Harris would have sent federal troops to Portland and to Seattle
to help the looters.
To help, maybe not. No, I don't think it would be to help the looters. But I think she's very much more hardline than the average Republican.
Yeah, she's an archetypal corporate Democrat.
Yeah.
Oh God, if it's this woman and Biden falls out for some reason. Oh
No,
my God.
Biden was never going to stand.
Yeah, I know that, John. I know that. The case is, if if Biden should win and he get Epstein before he could swear the oath, and she takes over for him. Oh my God, can you imagine the world we would be living in for the next 24 hours until she pushes the button?
Yeah, because we nearly got Hillary Clinton. I know exactly what kind of world. The Democratic Party is obsessed with electing a woman, and they have the worst women on the planet to choose from.
I guess Gunny would have liked him, because he always says, nuke this place, nuke that place, nuke this place.
Yeah, true that. Too bad he ain't with us anymore.
Yep.
Who, if I may ask?
Gunny is
Evil Gunny.
Evil Gunny was an old YouTuber that joined us in streams, but that's a very long time ago.
Yeah, he used to. We used to all watch.
He died, unfortunately.
Carlos, Castrejo.
Yeah.
Yep.
I haven't seen him for a while as well.
No. And he used to cut, and he only typed in capitals, but he wasn't shouting. It's just he could only type in capitals.
He had trouble seeing the shit, so he always wrote in capitals.
Really cool dude, though. Him and Tom Sequitur were the first people I streamed with back in the day.
I don't think I ever met Tom. You threw the link in the chat one day, I joined, but yeah.
So yeah.
Reminiscing. Lunie. I can never spell it. How do you spell Looney?
Looney. Bloody hell, it's your language.
Why do I want to use? It's because of Luna. So I use a U. Thank you.
You shouldn't. They have it. But I want the world to know that once again.
Well, I have my blind spots. Such a habit here.
The badges went live.
Yeah.
What they are going to talk
it's about Kamala Harris too. That's the worst part.
Well, no, you see, because they had this chat with that
Reverend Chesley Peterson.
Yesterday instead of the news, and so they're having the news show tonight instead of yesterday.
Right. Okay.
Yeah, Chesley Peterson. I got to watch that.
Well, he makes some good points on a very scary, deranged basis.
Yeah.
And
feminists
would well, they would probably transform into their true shape. They would be so angry at him.
Yeah, the thing about
he's a major
Jesse Lee is
point.
He's a Jesus freak. So
no, but he was you've got to have God, then Jesus, then man, then children and women, right? Women at the bottom. And women cannot be good. Women are evil. These are all things he said.
Yeah. Well, it's kind of true from a biblical point of view.
he has a great theme song for his show. It sounds like a sitcom from the 80s.
But yeah.
Well, unless it's not the intro of Psychodad, I don't like it.
It sounds like Full House.
Yeah.
No idea what you guys talking about.
Yeah. He used to a few years ago. He used to ask all of his guests, Do you love black people?
Yeah. And my answer is,
Or
I don't
do you
love anyone by demographics.
or do you love white people? That's also a question you would ask.
Yeah, and
Depending-
the same. I don't love anybody by demographics.
The
Or
question-
anybody by demographics.
Yeah, I'd ask which black people.
There are people of all types, and who I like, and there are ones I dislike.
I swear I'm not racist. I hate everyone equally.
Yeah.
No, but it's this whole concept, the very principle of the question. Do you like Group X? That I find so offensive because it's fundamentally flawed as a question.
Well, if it's a music group, then
Yes, but we're not talking about music. We talk about demographics.
yes, true that. Come on, just a little joke, man. Try to smile and laugh.
No!
Sometimes.
No! No!
Yes, I
Don't you
triggered John
oppress
again.
me.
Yeah.
Don't you oppress me?
Triggered.
Laughter is overrated anyway. Don't worry.
Come and see the violence inherent in the system.
So yeah, there is that.
Dude, there's this NPC in Path of Exile that always, when you meet her, she always goes, "Are you still sane, Exile?" And I always have to talk back to her and go, "Well, you're presuming I was sane in the fucking first place, aren't you?"
Yeah, that is exactly the way I think of it, Smith. Exactly.
So, do you have an opinion on Lebanon wanting to be recolonized by France?
What?
What?
Lebanon, they
Haven't
want to be
heard that?
recolonized. Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, the issue is
France?
the Lebanon government
Well, it's
has failed and everything.
Yeah,
Yeah.
but France.
Well, it
They,
was
they
the
were
French-
doing better when they
No,
were still
have
part
you
of
looked
France.
at France recently? This is not an example you want.
Well,
Okay,
that's
you
what
go,
you get if you censor news media, as the European Union does. They don't know the mess France is in.
oh, trust me, there are enough Middle Easterners causing the problems in France.
And then
True.
sooner or later you have yellow vests in Lebanon.
Yellow vests. Oh, yellow vests. Yeah.
Yeah.
I had to
yeah,
think.
with
the
a
interesting point would be-
six-pointed star on it.
Yeah, but the interesting point would be if France takes over Lebanon, could they reform Lebanon into a normal country which actually works? And what would the French people say about Macron doing that in Lebanon, but not
But
in
not
France?
at home.
Yeah, I
Yeah.
was going to say,
Well, I think they can reform it into Corsica at least.
Well, Lebanon wasn't
What
at
about
first.
Napoleon imprisoned on there? But they can
well,
put
they have a
control on.
similar culture of honor violence.
Exactly.
Hi there, Nick.
Hey, Nick.
Yeah, bring him on as well. Show him the link.
The link is in the Discord, so people can.
Is Nick? Oh yes, he is. He is.
Nick should be on Discord as well.
Yeah, he is. He's got a little green blob circle.
So yeah, Nick, if you want to join, by all means.
Yeah. No, it's yeah. That I find that the most. It's like satire. Lebanon is failing, so they want the French to recolonize.
Yeah.
It's like of all the countries in Europe, who's
Yep.
doing the worst?
Germany.
No, France.
No, actually, Germany is doing worse.
What? Than France?
Germany is doing worse.
Okay.
No, seriously, because the unrest, part of the unrest is people standing up, where part of the unrest in Germany is people being shut down.
Yeah. But just remember, which type of unrest led to a certain German regime in the 1930s?
Well, actually, what they're doing
The
now.
type like in France, or the type like in Germany? I would
type-
say
Actually,
more
John-
like the type in
John,
France.
what you don't know, because media is not showing it over there, they have exactly that state shot before 1933.
Yeah,
I'm not
they
kidding.
are.
Germany is boiling worse than France. In France, they are allowed to protest. In
Yep.
Germany, they are not, and that's
No,
causing a
but
high
in
pressure
Germany
situation.
they always had the protests, whether they were legal or not. But they were
No,
out in the
John.
streets fighting.
Yeah, but not
John.
anymore. That's the point. That's why it's so dangerous and why
Germany,
it's still
Germany
so bad.
now, Germany now is closer to Weimar Republic Germany's pre-Second World War than
No,
France
it's more
is.
like a volcano.
What do you mean?
Well,
Short of exploding.
yeah.
All right.
It's
But
suppressed
yeah, no,
and pretty rough. Whereas
because
Weimar Germany wasn't a volcano, it was an open bubble of lava.
no, it
We can
started
bring
becoming.
back the Austrian Empire and place Germany as a vassal state of the Holy Roman Empire.
No, Prussia had their own thing.
Yeah, I was going to say that the Germans were part of the Austro-Hungarian Empire for the longest time.
Yeah.
Yeah, they were Prussians. But
Well, no, the Prussians were Prussians. To be fair, the Bavarians were not Prussians. I think they might get offended if you said that.
true,
No,
true.
They're not getting
Prussians were
offended.
never
They just
part.
kill you.
The Prussians were never part of the Holy Roman Empire.
No,
It's the territory because the Prussians came from outside Germany. They
They're
were
Poles. Let's be honest, they're Poles.
yeah. Worse, they're Baltic. They're Lithuanians.
Well, I mean, part of modern Poland used to be Prussia.
Yeah.
well, it went back and forth.
Well, no, I'm just saying,
Yeah.
that part of what is now Poland was Prussia for a bit.
That's been going on for more than. Never mind.
But the whole of Poland's been going backwards and forwards for as long as anyone can remember.
Yeah.
As V said in his new video, the Poles hate communism and Nazism because they were stuck between the two.
Yeah, and they basically had the butt end of both of them.
Yeah.
And people seem to have forgotten that.
What do you mean people? Stop saying people.
What?
I haven't forgotten.
Oh, right. You're the epitome of everyone else then.
No, I'm saying that I am a demonstration that people is a non-existent concept.
So you're saying people are social construct.
No, I'm saying that there is a variety of groups who have different levels of understanding, and to lump them all under a universal term, people, is incorrect.
Be that as it may. But yeah, no, Germany now is closer to Weimar Republic than France is. And there is still a lot of violence on the street, and the government has once again taken the side of the ones doing the violence. The main difference is that the Bolshevik isn't as big a group now as it was during the Weimar Republic. Now it is Bolsheviks and unadjusted guests, so call them that. Not foreigners, because there are adjusted foreigners within Germany that are not the problem, but the ones that are a problem are not to be addressed because the government feels they shouldn't. And this is kind of what happened with the Weimar Republic. When the Bolshevik attacked the civilians, the government decided that it's not correct to address the Bolshevik. So yeah, that's basically what Germany is now.
Yeah, except the Bolshevik are not. The Antifa, well, minor difference anyway, but it's essentially the same. And even if you raise your voice against the new Bolsheviks, you're getting silenced because you must be alt-right and so on.
Yep.
And with that, they actually drive people into the arms of these parties they absolutely don't want to have.
Well, it's the thing, right? So it's like a protection racket. If you've got gangs in your neighbourhood, it's not always a choice to be unaffiliated. So if you want protection from that gang, you have to join the other gang.
Yeah.
You know, and it's not that people are ideologically on board with the gang they join. Does Brave work on Windows, Michael?
Please?
Yes.
No, for Hangouts.
No, Brave doesn't work for Hangouts, but it works on Windows.
No.
Brave works.
Be right back.
Brave works for Hangouts. I'm on Brave at the moment,
Yeah,
but
but are you
okay.
on Linux?
yeah.
That's what I said, on Windows.
Oh,
Question.
now I get it. Sorry.
Yeah, Brave
Because
does work on Windows.
Windows, only Chrome will support the Hangouts.
Yeah.
Is my understanding.
Well, I'm on Firefox.
Oh,
Yeah, they changed Hangouts.
maybe it's because Dissenter and Brave are Chrome spin-offs.
Maybe.
Chromium and not Chrome.
No, Chrome spin-offs.
Yeah, no, they're not Chrome spin-offs. They're Chromium spin-offs.
No, they're
Chrome
Google
is the one
Chrome.
with closed source parts, and Chromium is the open source
Well,
part.
whatever. The point being is that they're spin-offs that aren't fully functional. Firefox is...
They are fully functional, but only Chrome has the closed source parts that make Hangouts work.
Yeah, that's what I said.
No,
Fully functional in the terms of so Hangout works.
no, they are fully functional. They are just not having that add-on.
So they're not fully
Just
functional.
admit being wrong,
That's
John,
my
just for
definition
once.
of fully.
I need this.
I'm back.
Say that I'm right.
Welcome
for my
back.
sake, please.
No, you just have a different definition of fully being less than all. And when I said fully functional, I'm using it as a shortcut for so Hangout works in this context and nothing else in this context. The point being is that Dissenter and Brave don't work on Windows to use Hangouts. But it's good to know Firefox does. It's a shame that Firefox is otherwise so shit.
And whose Windows just gave an error message?
Mine.
Feel you. I had to fix Windows 10 on my laptop.
Yeah.
There is a problem, and
It's called Windows.
Yeah.
no.
Oh.
Actually, it's nothing to do with that. There is a problem which it killed one of my earlier computers over time, which is heat. If you're not careful when it's hot, your computer cooks.
Yeah.
Well, if you don't dust them once in a while, yeah.
No, but also just how hot it runs.
Well, my current box is liquid cooled, so
Yeah, I'm just saying. It's something that not necessarily comes to everybody's mind, is my point, and I was just raising it, that it's something to be thought of in hot weather, that a computer does not overheat.
Well, that's a way to kill the conversation, I guess.
Well, it wasn't supposed to be, it was just a comment about something not necessarily everyone would consider. If you actually look at the safe operating temperatures for a lot of electronic devices, they are very low compared to the temperature things can actually get.
do that.
Yeah, now that you're talking about it, I lost very new batteries recently. I think it was too hot. They all exploded.
Yeah.
Wow.
Several AA batteries. I needed to replace them. Nope. Couldn't even open the shrink wrap around it.
Wow. How does haggis taste? I don't know.
I've had it once, it was horrible, but then I can't stand pepper. Black pepper. Not,
Yeah, but, I mean, it depends on how it's made.
well, obviously, that's true of everything. But I had it once, it was vile, I would never have it again.
Well, I had haggis once and it was all right, but then again, yeah.
It's not like chicken, Michael.
No, it's not like chicken.
Lamb, I think. Lamb's. It's actually made. The haggis itself is a stomach, And it's minced stuff all in the stomach.
And it could. I thought you could also use other meats.
Yeah, you probably can, but it's generally red meat, not chicken.
Yeah.
But the point is, as I pointed out to somebody the other day, haggis is not the national dish of Scotland. That is now deep-fried pizza and deep-fried Mars bar.
Deep fried? Can you fry a pizza?
Deep fry, yes, they can, and they do.
How? I assume
you
they at
get it in
least.
factor and stick it in hot oil, obviously.
I assume they take off the shrink
what
wrap
else?
first.
As they do with Mars bars.
Okay, the Mars bar, that part I never understood.
I thought it was a joke, to be honest.
The deep fried pizza, yeah, okay, I can wrap my mind around it, no problem. I'd probably eat it. But Mars bar?
Yeah.
Does it work with Twix?
I have no idea.
What about Milky Way?
Nobody actually likes Milky
There's
Way.
actually a YouTube video. I've just Googled the
I like Milky Way.
DuckDuckGo deep fried Mars bars. It's got a Wikipedia entry.
Yes, I know. I've seen it. I've seen people frying Mars bars on YouTube.
Yeah.
And they call me sick.
But yeah,
It
after
says
eating that.
deep fried Mars bars recipe. Enjoy the Scottish delicacy.
How is that a Scottish delicacy?
Because it was invented in Scotland and
Well, if that's the best dish they can serve,
no, as I
I feel
said,
mercy for these
as
people.
I said, it's a Scottish speciality because no one else. So I was asked, like I was mentioning last night on the Honey Badger stream, how deep fried pizza and Mars bars are the Scottish national dish, and strontium X nitrate was asking me about the Scottish stereotype. The Scottish stereotype is they don't eat vegetables, right? Don't eat fruit and vegetables. And it is a fact that the Scottish have the worst health in Europe.
But if they eat deep fried Mars, well, who wonders?
Yeah, exactly.
Well, I remember.
But it's a stereotype. In other words,
True.
most Scots aren't like that. It's just some, especially in places like Glasgow, which was the topic of conversation at the time.
I wonder what Warped Reflection would say to that.
Well, she lives north of Edinburgh in the nice bit of Scotland.
In the civilized area.
Don't would have put it that much. I mean,
No, well, I know I joke that it's I'm back in civilization, but no, the parts of Scotland are wonderful places, wonderful people, and then the cities. But that's the same everywhere. There's lots of lovely places, and then there are cities. Cities deserve to die, and apparently they are doing so at a rapid rate.
By the
Wow.
way, Scotch eggs.
Yes, I like Scotch eggs, which is sausage meat wrapped round a boiled egg.
And also deep fried.
no,
Not
fried,
really.
not deep
Breadcrumbs.
fried.
Okay. I'm looking at something called fried bacon wrapped eggs,
Okay.
which appears in the same set of images as the Scotch eggs.
Okay. I mean, Scotch eggs you buy from the deli counter. They come.
Right.
I've never made one. You just buy them. And they're very nice on salad.
Ah, so it's like Portuguese samosas.
Well,
You don't
as
make
I
them, you
say,
just buy them.
yeah, it's sausage meat, so it's like a meat part of a salad.
Hmm.
Well, I don't know.
The deep fried scrambled egg bun burger.
I think there's a chef in Britain, rather notorious, called Heston Blumenthal, and he is infamous for serving things like hedgehog ice cream in his restaurants.
What?
Hedgehog ice cream.
What?
Really, really bizarre things. Because some people are just odd.
I fear I'm going to have nightmares today.
The Midwest Monte Cristo. I found something called dudefoods.com, and it seems to be made by 19-year-olds learning how to cook, which mostly consists of sandwiches and lots of cheese.
Because so somebody asked me, an American asked me, if I was having caveman beef. And I figured out, okay, there can be no such thing as caveman beef. Because the cow was domesticated after we stopped living in caves.
Yeah, but before we had the domesticated cow, there was beef.
Yeah, you can argue whether it was beef, though. That's my point.
No. It was beef.
It wasn't beef. It was more like venison.
Yeah.
No. Venison is from deer.
The deer.
Yeah.
Yes, but
And
if
beef-
auroch ate the same thing as the deer, lived the same way as the deer, it's venison.
No, it's not. Because the biology of the auroch is different than that of a deer. It's not only about what you eat, it is how your body metabolizes it and burns it, and etc., etc., etc. So that's why there's a difference between venison and what's the other one? Now I forgot the word.
The auroch. The auroch
No. The venison. Venison is
the wild
venison.
ancestor of the domesticated cow.
It's. I'm not talking about the animal now. I'm talking about how do we call the meat. Now venison is from deers, and from rund. I can't think of the English word right now. I'm sorry, it's too hot.
Beef.
Beef. Thank you. Beef is a different type of meat.
But if you have to hunt a savage cow, its meat will be different from that of a domesticated cow.
Yeah.
Yes,
like
but it would still would still be beef and not venison. The difference between those.
We call wild boar. We don't call it pork. Pork is the domesticated.
Yeah, okay.
So it's not beef. It's closer to It's not venison, but it's closer to venison than it is to beef.
It's not closer to venison. No, it's
because of the animal's diet.
No, it really isn't. It's really not
close. It would be an auroch.
I don't care.
My point is, it was a joke about the word beef because the cow wasn't domesticated until after we left the game. That was it.
But it's even if you're killing, for example, a bison, which has lived its whole life in the wild, when bison meat is still beef.
No, it's bison.
No, it's bison.
It's bison beef.
Or as the uneducated Americans say, buffalo.
Yes. But then they call Indians as opposed to Native Americans.
It used to be that Indians around here called themselves full-blooded Indians.
Well, that's fine. But I think full-blooded Indians from India might still find that a bit problematic.
Only with a funny accent.
Yes.
Excuse me, we are the real Indians?
Yes. But that's the best thing about Indians is their funny accent.
Well,
that's the best thing about the French is their outrageous French accent.
And that's the good thing about Kamala Harris for America, because now they can claim they have an Indian woman running for president. Oh, she's an Indian.
The wrong kind of
It's
Indian.
the wrong kind of Indian. But then again, they also call her a black woman, which, trust you me, in India, if she were really black, that would be a problem for her. Because unlike America, people in India are pretty racist when it comes to skin color.
And they have a caste system.
Yep.
And she being Tamil, she's in the bottom of the rung.
Yep.
And Kamala Harris is considered black, even though she has less melanin than Andrew Cuomo.
But she still might be more Native American than Pocahontas.
Well, Absolutely, because the Native Americans are descended from the Asians, and therefore she's closer genetically than the Europeans.
That is correct. Although the Tamils are closer to Austronesians, and the Native Americans are descendants of Siberians, which makes Hungarians closer to Native Americans than Indians.
And none of them count.
And none of this actually matters because none of this race baiting is based on fact.
Indeed.
Well,
Nope.
well, I think I can trigger every pseudo group in the United States by claiming, I can't tell you Americans apart. You all look alike to me.
Yeah, yeah. I mean, I actually have stated before I reject the concept of Black American. You're just an American to me. I don't care what color you are. You're just an American.
Exactly. There is no country in Africa that would recognize a Black American as a brother.
Yeah.
Of course
It
not.
gets a little bit annoying, though, when you run into someone from South America who will insist to you, well, what about us? We're Americans, too. I'm like, yes, but none of you are from a nation that is actually called America.
Yeah. You're from Brazil. You're a Brazilian. And other body trimming characteristics.
You're a South American.
And
But-
if you're an Argentinian, you could be Welsh.
And you could say, you could claim there are North Americans and South Americans and Central
Don't forget the
Americans,
Central
I guess.
Americans.
Oh,
Meso-Americans.
Nah, it's just North and South. We gotta keep the system simple for the dumb people out there, you know?
Well, it's like Hispanics.
Below Mexico, South America.
I love the
Above
term
Mexico.
Hispanic for people who aren't necessarily of Spanish descent.
I don't like to use the word Hispanic because, in all fairness, there is already a large group of people that are Hispanic and they live in Spain.
No, that was my joke. That was my joke.
Oh,
In
okay.
America, they call them Hispanics, even if they're not of Spanish descent.
Right.
Out of curiosity, what are you supposed to call them?
Well,
It
where
depends
they're
on their name, I guess.
from. Where they're from. You
Yeah,
know,
but
Oh.
I mean, racially, some people are white and some people are black. So
Yeah,
what are you
that's-
telling me they're supposed to be?
That's another
From
mistake.
their respective countries.
yeah.
Well, yeah,
So
you could.
if
You
you're
could
an American, you're an American. And if you're a Mexican, you're a Mexican. And a Mexican can be more Spanish
Okay,
and
no,
less North American.
my point. Suppose hypothetically I were to be mugged,
Yeah.
and they were to ask me to describe the guy. If I were mugged by a white guy, I would say he was white. If I were mugged by a black guy, I would say he was black. If I were mugged by a Hispanic, what am I supposed to say?
well,
Can you tell the
probably a
difference between?
Mexican.
Well, isn't it?
No, can you tell the difference between someone from Costa Rica and Bolivia?
They can't. So how
But-
the hell am I supposed to do it?
I can.
Well, it's
but-
fairly easy.
Latin.
No, don't put an X in there. That's cultural appropriation in the worst
The-
possible way because the
The thing is
language
that
has gender.
Mesoamericans and South Americans are actually quite easy to tell apart.
Yeah.
Yeah.
No. It occurs to me my meaning might not have been clear. The they in my sentence, they can't tell them apart. The cops couldn't if I were describing a mugger. I don't want
Well-
to have to explain to them the difference between a Costa Rican and any other thing. What one word could I use to describe a mugger?
Mesoamerican.
Amerindian.
Latin to me.
Amerindian, yes.
Light brown.
Me,
I've never seen a wanted poster with any of those descriptions.
severely tanned individual, to quote Frank.
But you could use Amerindian because that's what the Portuguese and the Spanish called the natives when we colonized the Latin America.
Well, you
Amerindian?
see-
I thought Indian was not supposed to be used.
Calling everyone Indians was a big mistake by us Europeans. Let's be honest. You've
Yes.
got the East Indies, the West Indies, the North American Indians, the Southern American Indians, the Amazonian Indians,
And the Washington Redskins.
and
But I'm not going to
none
give
of
a name.
those are the actual Indians. Of whom there are many different races. As I said, you've got the Tamils, right? You've got the Hindus.
Right.
You've got the Punjabis.
Dravidians. You have the Dravidians.
The
Bengalis.
All of whom are ethnically different. That's why they called it the Indian subcontinent.
And let's not forget that the people from Sikkim look more Chinese than Indian.
Yeah. And some of the Aryan Indians look Aryan. That's like Europeans.
Yep.
Because that's where we come from. Indo-Europeans. But let's just all stick one label on it, eh? Well done, social justice, or whatever we're calling it these days.
I'm not sure that social justice is responsible for calling Native Americans Indians.
No, but I'm talking about the concept of lumping them all into one thing. I mean,
okay.
The violent civil war in Sri Lanka between the Tamils, I forget who the other group is.
Indians.
Just shows you. No, they're not. Just shows you how homogenous these people are. They're all the same. So the same, they've been violently killing each other for centuries over their sameness. But you can lump them all under one big title. People of colour.
Right. and that's diversity.
Yeah. And this brings us back to the Lebanon, because in the Lebanon you had the Christians, the Muslims, the Jews, and they weren't always fighting and killing each other. Honest.
Oh, yeah.
Which is why Lebanon failed as a state and is so desperate they're even thinking of asking France back.
And one can seriously wonder whether that's a good idea.
Well, no, but if you're that desperate...
Hey, Modern, you went quiet again.
Ludicrous.
Yeah, I'm sorry, I was talking in the wrong direction.
Uh-huh.
Am I clearer now, though?
Yeah, you are, and I think Ludicrous needs another shot there.
Yeah. Hey, we started the stream. I did tell you. We started the stream with your video.
Yeah, Ludicrous, I
wanted to show off his wonderful reading skills.
That's not true. You said it was a nice thing.
I asked what it was about.
And Smirkus then said, I haven't seen it.
Yeah, I just wanted to show that he gets more views on Ludicrous channel than on his own.
Sometimes modeling is very easy to trigger.
Yeah, I don't understand why you didn't. I thought when you said, here you go, that you would send me the link. Not that we were going to watch it on stream.
No. Modeling likes to do that. He likes to include somebody else's work to bolster his own content. And we generally have a 10-15 minute nothing in particular section at the start.
Yeah, just at the start.
Of course, because we're always on top.
Ever since I was part of Mod Wayne's streams, we sidetracked like a motherfucker.
No. That's not sidetracking. That's enjoying the scenery.
But anyway, but Ludicrous, just to say, great video, really funny, and thank you for educating me. The lying media have kept me deceived about how bad it is in America.
But a good old dose of fuck it all helps.
Yeah, and if that doesn't help anymore, you still can give him force it in.
Yeah. Oh, by the way, has the impotence lifted yet? Hey, it's a newly married leprechaun.
True.
Oh, that's why he needs another shot.
Congratulations.
He feels the work.
It says you Googling it. What says you Googling it? I'm confused. Oh,
Stimulating pictures, you know.
no. Telling me about the what's really going on in America. I don't use Google. I haven't searched with Google for a couple of years. I don't say I miss it.
Well, technically, you are using Google now with Hangouts.
No, Google for search.
Yeah, well, I use DuckDuckGo, but in all fairness, it's not a lot better.
No, maybe.
And it's actually worse if you search German terms. You can only use it for English terms, then it works very great, but any other language just
Well,
doesn't work with
fortunately, I
DuckDuckGo.
belong to the dominant linguistic hegemony.
I was going to say, what other languages count, man?
It's not the first language in the world.
Well, by number, maybe. By influence, definitely is. It's the number one second language by miles.
I guess so.
Well, the true power in language is not being fluent in your own language. It's fluent in your own language and a second language. That's a very powerful combination.
Yeah, but then I have a problem. I'm very fluent in English, and everything else is just gibberish, including my main language.
Yeah, that's not good.
Yeah.
And listen to my English, you know how bad the situation is.
Yeah, but Michael, okay, my grandmother was a native Welsh speaker. How do you think, people like her feel? Okay? Her native language doesn't count for jack shit in her own country.
True.
Oh, the delay is about 1 minute. Okay.
Yeah, the
Your
delay
grandmother must
is...
feel kind of like the Indians around here, huh?
Well, no, my grandmother died many years ago, but she was a native. English was her second language.
Yeah, I know.
But yeah. I mean, when everyone sees the like me or speak English, it'll be fine. And I will quote a Romanian, right? I worked at a construction company. We had people from all over the world working, right? And they obviously speak lots and lots and lots of different languages. And someone was questioning what language we should use. And this Romanian turned around and said, "We speak English, stupid."
Wasn't there a time they created Esperanto to solve this issue, so no one has to learn the language of the Brits anymore, but that it's a true foreign language for everybody?
Only nerds bother learning Esperanto.
And
Yeah, like
it's
my
a
French
shitty
teacher back in the
language
days.
with no vocabulary.
But
Yeah.
isn't Esperanto basically the communist version of a universal language?
It's an academic language. That is all you should need
It
to
wasn't
know.
political, I think.
No, it was. It was meant to be the unifying language for all different people.
Yeah.
Well, they have LARPing events where they pretend that it's real.
True.
Useless, but real.
True.
I mean, people learn Klingon. Doesn't
Is that-
mean,
Yep.
But Klingon is a cool language.
yeah, but it
And
doesn't
Alfred
mean
from
it's of
Tolkien.
much use when you're on your travels. If I go on my travels, sad to say, English is more widely accepted and understood
Then Klingon.
than pretty much anything.
Yeah, but then again, I know one sentence in Klingon. Klingon nach. Do you speak Klingon?
Well, that's hardly a
When
sentence.
yeah, John, but listen now. When a tourist once asked me about the way, I said Klingon nach. And the fucker gave answer in Klingon.
Well, there's always an exception.
To what?
Well, any rule about a language. You found the person on the planet who knows Klingon. Well done.
I found that I'm kind of fucked if I'm in the ass end of nowhere in most European countries because they've never bothered learning foreign languages, and in Eastern Germany they still haven't learned any other language. So when I was looking for my hotel around Klettwitz, which is somewhere between Dresden and Berlin, and by between Dresden and Berlin, it's very wide. Nobody understood English.
Not English, but Russian.
Well, it's kind of funny though,
No
because
kidding,
if you,
they learn Russian up until
well,
this very day.
it depends on where you are. But I remember that, and this is, well, more than 20 years ago now that I was in Bulgaria. But in Bulgaria, you learned Bulgarian, obviously, and the boys learned, I think, German, and the girls
No,
learned.
Beluga is a whale.
And
No,
the
not
girls.
Beluga, Bulgar. Anyway, sorry. Shut up, John.
So the boys learned, I think it was German, and the girls learned French. So that when they are in a different country, normally it's man and woman, therefore you can always cope.
So, so you're saying the women are good in performing French?
but only in countries that speak either French or German.
Yeah, but considering that Bulgaria was not that much interested in English.
So, like neighbouring countries, or nearby countries, like I don't know, Greece, Italy.
Well, they could.
In Greece, they might find people who speak German.
Okay.
In Italy, they will find people who speak French. In northern Italy, in southern Italy, they only speak Sicilian, not even Italian.
Yeah. No, I stayed in Italy with my wife, and we were not that far from Rome, but we just happened to be in a spot that wasn't a regular tourist place. They didn't speak English, but Italian's so easy, it doesn't matter. You know, for the kinds of things you need to do as a tourist, it's like, you know.
You just waved your hands around a lot, and they understood you perfectly.
Well, no, I mean,
I was about to say the same thing. I managed to avoid it.
The sad part is it would actually
most
work.
Most of the signs in Italian read like Italianized English. Seriously. You look at it, you say, I know what that says.
So you always think you're going to find something sinister when you turn left?
Absolutely, that's where the word sinister comes from. Literally. Did you not know that? That the word sinister comes from left in Italian. Well,
yeah, in Rome, in Latin.
But also Italian.
Well,
because
Italian
people who were left-handed were considered defective, and therefore to be left-handed was to be sinister. That's literally where it comes from. So the weird thing is, right, a piano is an Italian instrument, and it's the Italian for floor, as in story of a building.
Yes, it's the same etymology as the word plane.
And a camera is a room.
Yep.
What?
That's because
I always believe piano means calm.
yeah, but
It also
it's
means
also
that,
an
yes.
instrument.
Hold on, piano,
forte,
calm down.
and it's a floor. So you've got to the first piano, the second piano, the third piano. Because we start at 0 in English, unlike Americans who start at 1.
Well,
but the camera is literally the original term was camera obscura, which was actually a darkened room with a pinhole light in the curtain.
Yeah.
That's why it's a camera, because it was a room.
yeah. Anyway, people, dying from the heat. I'm not quite sure how you guys are doing, but it's too hot here, even with the airco running. So I think about calling it quits. We've been at it for nearly 2 hours.
Have we?
Yes.
Well,
Oh, yeah.
keeps moving.
So, anyone have anything interesting to say before we kill it?
We're start now.
You took my words, Tyler. You took my words. Yeah, why didn't you say it before?
Well, it has been.
I'll shield my other channel.
Yeah, go on, mate. Go on.
It's pretty much dedicated to Arma 3, Vietnam, and/or World War II ops at the moment, and I upload the full 4 to 5 hour operations.
Yeah, that's way too long, man. That's way too long.
A lot of people don't like it, but and I just saw comments on this in my Discord, in our Discord again. It's like some people upload to grow their channel, others just upload like me, upload the full stuff. So platoon members that want to watch and anyone else can just watch the whole thing, you know.
Oh, there's that. Oh, fuck.
And I'm really lazy and I don't like editing. That doesn't help either.
Yeah. That's why streams are so good.
Thank you, William. Always nice to hear that I'm loved.
But yeah, the name is Smirkus Gaming. Go check it out if you like.
Nick? Anything to add?
No, it took me forever and a day to figure out how in the hell to join the stream.
Well, next time...
Nick, are you in a city?
Am I? No, I'm in a small town, man.
Oh, I am really glad for you.
Yeah, I can walk from one end of town to the other without... it only takes a couple minutes.
Yeah. No, that's good, because I think cities in the US particularly are fucked.
Well, yeah, I'm in the Midwest anyway, so I'm not anywhere near any of the real bad ones. I know that a couple of them are in the Midwest, but most of us out here don't have that mentality.
No, it's good.
Yeah, yeah, we're right in the middle. I'm in Kansas, so you don't. We've got crazy lefties out here, but not nearly enough of them to burn buildings.
Yeah.
Well,
Nothing Remington 223 couldn't deal with, right?
Yeah.
It is so.
Yeah, well,
it's so interesting to see what's going on in America and to lay lines, basically historically, on what happened in Weimar Republic, Germany. But the politicians allowing the idiots to run rampant, and the people in the rural areas like, okay, we don't know what's going on, but it's happening over there, so fuck it, until they start coming in the rural areas. That's when the shit's going to start to hit the fan.
Well, I don't know if you've seen any of the videos, but I mean, people, Antifa and people like that have been going to smaller communities and suburbs and stuff, and quite often have been getting the living shit kicked out of them.
Yep.
Good.
Yep. And
Doing here as well out there. That's why I really don't worry too much.
And it's going to get worse.
Yeah, they're not used to resistance, right?
Well, the problem's the dichotomy. That's when it becomes really dangerous, is when you get a dichotomy. And so you get these two sides who just start to, because they separate, fear and loathing and antagonism develops. And that's what will cause an upsurge in violence. And that killed it. On that cheery note, we wish you all a good night.
Yeah. Okay, so I'm going to click the button now. Click!
Push button.
And now we wait half a minute.
I've got to admit, we have a great viewership to participation ratio. We almost have half as many people watching